Turbo Kid is a single-player metroidvania with multiple weapons, skills and pixel gore where you ride your BMX and blast your enemies through the wasteland. Created as a continuation of the 2015 sci-fi and action cult classic film by the same name, fans of this movie were aching for a Turbo Kid video game adaptation. Heeding the call, Outminds launched a Kickstarter campaign in 2021 and successfully funded their campaign with less than 24 hours. Turbo Kid launched on the PC in April 2024. This August it has come to the Nintendo Switch. Performance. While the game runs incredibly smooth in 97% of the game, there are occasional issues with performance, the first being the pause menu. There's a notable delay when unpausing the game. It's a little bit jarring when you forget about it, as you expect the game to run smoothly. There's also a bug towards the end of the game where I died after completing a quest and I had to quit and restart the game to solve the issue upon reloading. Upon doing this I had to redo the section again, which was annoying, but having done it before, it wasn't too hard to get it again. The Switch 2 maintains a stable 30 frames per second throughout the whole playthrough. Though I haven't tested it on the original Switch, I can imagine some areas might have minor stuttering with the original hardware. Load times between the areas are reasonable, and there are also few and far between for the most part. Gameplay. Turbo Kid handles really well. The buttons are reactive and the movement is satisfying with lots of platforming to perform. Learning how to ride the BMX is the hardest part of the game and the most satisfying, however it isn't needed enough, which is a little bit disappointing. The boss battles are varied and rewarding, with your usual difficulty spike at the very beginning and the end. Overall it's satisfying, but I think there could have been more, especially more BMX. Value. At its price point, Turbo Kid offers solid value for Metroidvania fans. The main campaign provides approximately 10 to 12 hours of content, with additional time for completionists seeking all the collectibles and secrets. The unique BMX mechanics and nostalgic 80s aesthetics help it stand out in a crowded genre. However, I do wish there was more BMX, especially as a lover of all things extreme sports. Visuals. The game features wonderful pixelized graphics for the most part. However, there are some areas within the map that don't quite work with the colour palette. This could be down to playing the game in handheld mode on the Switch 2 rather than on a monitor or a TV. The map itself is vast and well thought out, and there are lots of nooks and crannies to find hidden side quests and collectible items to aid you in your journey. Final verdict. Despite minor technical hiccups, Turbo Kid succeeds in delivering an engaging Metroidvania experience that honours the original source material while providing fresh gameplay mechanics. The BMX integration feels natural and adds a layer of speed and style to the exploration that few games in the genre can match. However, I do wish there was more, and it leaves you wanting more at the end. Score breakdown. Story. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's relatively generic, but not a bad story at all. Visuals and design. 8 out of 10. Level design is great, lots to explore, and it looks beautiful. Performance. 8 out of 10. Other than the pause issue and the bug at the end, it performed pretty flawlessly. As I said, original hardware may change that a little bit, but the Switch 2 handles it really well. Value. 6 out of 10. At $15.99 on the Nintendo Switch and around the 10 to 15 hours to complete it and go for all the collectibles, it's not the longest of games. It's not like Hollow Knight, in which it's extra long and you've got all the Pantheon to do at the end of the game. However, there is replayability in it and it is a beautiful game. Overall, I'd give it an 8 out of 10.